Hello and welcome to In Focus Kentucky. I'm Mario Anderson. On today's episode, we are talking about National Child Abuse Prevention Month, which is underway right now during the month of April. Kentucky has the highest abuse rate in the country after the release of the HHS Children's Bureau Child Maltreatment 2017 report. The report also stated that out of 1,000 children in Kentucky, on average, 22 of them will be victims of abuse and neglect. That rate is more than double the national average. Jill Seifert is director of Prevent Child Abuse Kentucky, which has a mission to prevent the abuse and neglect of Kentucky's children. Jill, thanks so much for joining us today here on In Focus Kentucky.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And Jill, let's first start by talking with our viewers about the fight in child abuse prevention. It's just not a one-month deal for you all. You are doing this all year long.
Right. April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, as well as here in Kentucky. We've been fortunate every year since 1983 to have our governors proclaim April as Child Abuse Prevention Month. So no matter who's in office, we feel fortunate that our elected officials are paying attention to Kentucky's children. So we're part of a national effort. You may see my pinwheel here. The pinwheel is the national symbol for child abuse prevention. Kind of remember when we were kids and the whimsical pinwheels that are spinning. So hopefully you and a lot of your viewers have seen the blue and silver pinwheels throughout the state, recognizing this month as Child Abuse Prevention Month.
And talk about that particular pinwheel. There are a lot of ceremonies that happen across the state during the month of April, and how important is it to have these awareness events across Kentucky for people to be aware of what's going on?
Well, we think it's vitally important. You mentioned the statistics, which of course are very sobering, very unsettling, very troubling. The flip side of that is there's the notion that maybe Kentucky is doing a really good job of awareness so that people are on the lookout. They know how to make a report. They know that they can report anonymously, and so the number of reports made in Kentucky are more than other states. So that really starts with awareness, and people may stop you and say, you know, what is that pinwheel for? Or earlier this month we had National Wear Blue Day, and we hope that people wear their blue, whether it's Kentucky blue or in any color blue. Stop and ask, hey, what's that? Why are you wearing blue? And I'm wearing blue to show my support for child abuse prevention. So we think, Prevent Child Abuse Kentucky thinks that we all as a state do pretty well in recognizing, reporting, and making sure that that awareness is there year round.
And share with us, you've been at this for several years, being an advocate on this particular topic, but what are some primary factors that contribute to child abuse or neglect? What are some of those reports that you hear?
Sure. Well, even though the numbers may vary from year to year, the risk factors remain fairly consistent. Anytime there is any combination of mental health issues, substance abuse issues, or domestic violence within a home, that is certainly not the be-all to end-all, but those three factors present in a home give us pause for concern.
Now, your group is one of many Kentucky organizations that is partners of the CoSIR Charities Face It movement to end child abuse. And explain about the importance about having multiple agencies working together to end this issue.
Sure. Well, we can't do it on our own. Prevent Child Abuse Kentucky can't do it on our own. Face It can't do it on their own. No one organization. So Face It was started in Jefferson County in Louisville by CoSIR Charities, and there are, I believe, about 60 partners that have banded together and have said, you know, we want to be part of this movement to help prevent and end child abuse and neglect. Much the same way that Prevent Child Abuse Kentucky has about 240 partners across the state, but you know, whether it's 60 or 240 or 5,000 or 10,000, we're still just barely scratching the surface.
And we were discussing how during the month of April, you rack up a lot of miles crisscrossing the state,
yes.
Talking about the preventing child abuse. Are there any other high-profile events that are happening over the course of April that you want to share with viewers?
Well, Towards the end of March, we had our annual pinwheel planting on the grounds of the Capitol. So we have about 2,700, 2,400 pinwheels planted on the grounds over there. Each pinwheel represents 20 live births. So that was our big event, but we have over 200 events throughout the state in every city from Pikeville to Paducah and Somerset to Northern Kentucky, and Face It is a large part of each one of those events also.
Well, Jill, and we appreciate your time, and really quickly, for people that want more information about your organization, where can they go to get those details?
www.pcaky.org.
Well, Jill, thanks so much for your time today, and we'll definitely have you back here on the program here soon.
Great, thank you.
Absolutely. Now, coming up next, we'll introduce you to some Kentucky middle schoolers who worked with their local state senator to draft a resolution to require child abuse education in Kentucky schools. We'll explain next after a check of your weather on the ones. How was it for you and those other students?
Well, we really have a passion for this because many of us involved with this resolution really have strong connections with our friends who have been abused, and we really want to help them with their situation and help many more who have been in that situation.